You may wonder what I'm doing, and spending all day sanding wood. Some people may even make the judgment that I've got a sort of sanding disorder or some sort of compulsive obsession. That's just a judgment, just an opinion that may not be held by everybody. And it's all, of course, by comparing one thing against another. So what actually am I doing? Well, to my mind, the difference between white paint or any colour paint and natural wood that shows the grain makes a vast improvement. So we've got this little 3-drawer cupboard, and we're gradually sanding it down, bringing out the natural grain in the wood, and make a bit of an experiment. That's the table I showed on a previous video. I think it was table talk 2, structurally sound. Now it's putting a protective coating on it. So what I've actually used is old engine oil that was lying about. I'm going to try coconut oil on the other one, because used oil is obviously very black, and it sort of reverses the grain and in between the grain. So the darker bits are now in between the grain, but it comes up beautifully, and it provides a sort of protective layer against any wet. And of course, having it out in the sun, it sort of helps sort of cook the oil, as it were, and then just go over it with a cloth and just gently rub it in, and you'll, especially round the knots, the heartwood, because it all comes from the heart, and you'll find heartwood is very brittle, a very hard wood compared to what's around it, especially with pine. Though pine, I think that's classed as a hardwood, same as balsa wood. It's nothing to do, as most people would think, with the sort of physicality of it. It's to do with the internal structure of the wood. That balsa, although it is very light, is classed as a hardwood. Anyway, there's several things going on here. One, this was once a living tree. All wood was once a living tree. So you've got the grains, and it tells the story of or part of the story of that tree when it was a living tree. So when you get the grains close together, it's had rapid growth. When it's spread far apart, it's probably had a more settled environment. So it tells you something of the history of the tree, and can't help but ponder about what is held, what is ingrained, shall we say, and what is revealed. Now, with everything being a reflection, I'm expressing externally what's going on internally. I'm examining myself, I'm peeling back the layers, removing the veneers, removing the layers that we accumulate from the outside world that sort of covers everything over and creates basically like a mask or a false impression. So we're going back to the grain. As much as anything else, it works as a visual reminder that this was once a living tree. And as I said on a previous video, I feel it is a crime to just use it as, say, firewood, or just discard it, and almost saying to the tree that you have no value at all, when actually it has enormous value. Don't be fooled that the tree in this form of timber is actually dead. It is far from dead. Timber will actually expand and contract depending on the amount of moisture in the air, and it's going through the grains. If you were to see a cross-section of a piece of wood, it would look like straws, because trees work on tension. Now they've got their attention on Earth, so they draw water up by a method called tension. And this is why if a tree gets an airlock, same as we get an airlock in our arteries, it can be fatal. But by exposing the grain, I'm also reflecting what's going inside myself. I'm rediscovering myself, going back to basics. You could say on this land that I call paradise, it's going back to basics. It's starting again with a new Genesis. So this is the cupboard so far. I will probably use coconut oil that we've got. It's been sitting around rather a long time and probably not fit to use really for anything. So yeah, I may put that as a protective coating, but there's another layer still to go that I haven't discussed yet. And to many of you, this might seem so radically strange, so bizarre, that you will possibly reject it. But there are those of you out there that will fully understand or understand what I'm talking about, because you've possibly had a similar experience, because that is where it all happens. It's what you experience and what you feel. So this grain, it actually starts to communicate. You're sinking in with the energy of what was once a living tree, but it still has a life form, and it is quite revealing. Well, we're now up to 7 minutes, so I'm going to hold that off to a following video. So we'll end on that cliffhanger ending, because like all series on television, they end on a cliffhanger ending because they want you to come back and watch the next episode. So we can look at the system and we can utilize and adapt things for a different purpose that doesn't have a sort of hidden agenda. All will be revealed, just like the grain in the wood, in the next video.